So you all are seasoned soul solacers. So same, I don't want to say rules, but same intentions apply here as when we get to meet in person. And that is that you get to allow your inner guru to guide you through the practice. I'll offer some suggestions, but the whole point of this is really to get in touch with that inner guru, that inner teacher and guide, and develop that relationship with ourselves so that we can live the practice off the mat. Okay. So with that being said, let's just take an inhale. And then exhale, sigh it out. And we'll try it again. Big breath in. And exhale, letting it go. One more time. Take an inhale. And exhale as you please. Let it go. And just really take a moment to feel that earth below you. The ground supporting you, holding you. Imagining every part of our body that's in contact with Mama Earth, growing a root system, an umbilical cord directly to the mother. Allowing us to feel present, rooted, grounded, safe. And then take an inhale. And exhale, push that exhale down through the roots into Mama. Try that again. Take an inhale. Exhale through those roots, maybe softening a little bit more. Mama's gotcha. One more time. Breathe it in as though you could even smell the fragrance of Mama Earth. Exhale, releasing, giving everything back to her. And then I invite you to notice what's going on in your mind. Even as we have this opportunity to kind of soften and become a little more present. What was your mind sharing with you? What obstacles might be present to our ability to just be here in the moment? Not judging them, giving them voice and welcoming them. Embracing the Buddhist practice of, and this too. The Zen Buddhist practice. And this too. Our thoughts, our worries, our questions, our joys, our gratitudes, all of this, welcome here. Taking another inhale. And exhale, let it go. So coming into our Sangha Sankalpa, our group intention. Tonight our group intention is to embrace the mother. We just had Mother's Day. Today is my biological mother's birthday. So dedicating our practice to any healing that needs to happen between us and Mother Earth, our biological mothers, but also to the mother within each one of us. And just breathing into that, notice how the body and the mind responded to the idea of mother. And this too is welcome here. Another inhale. Another exhale. And then coming into your Jiva Sankalpa, your individual Sankalpa, your personal intention. What is it that you need from your practice this evening? Not only on the mat, but what do you need from your practice to take off the mat with you? Maybe you don't know. It's okay. Just breathing into that. Giving yourself permission to receive. And as you do, I'll open us up with the Guru Mantra. Calling in the wisdom of our ancestors, the ancestors of this practice, all of our gurus, all of our guides, and especially calling inward to the inner guru. Akhanda mandala karam yaptam yena chara chara tatparam darshitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Gurudeva Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Anmulam Guru Murti, Jamulam Guru Param, Ramulam Guru Varya, Shamulam Guru Kripa. Hari Om Namah Chandikaya Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalani Durga Shama Shivaratri Swaha Swaha Namaste Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Vishudani. Giving yourself permission to stay right here for as long as you'd like. When you're ready, make your way onto your back if you're not there already. If you are on your back and you're ready to move, maybe take a big stretch or hug your knees into your heart space. We're going to begin with a twist. So you might hug both knees in towards your heart. You might just stretch one leg forward, depending on what it is that you need. So if your lower back is feeling a little extra tight, then you'll hug both knees in towards your heart space. If your lower back feels a little more open, then just hug your left knee in. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Have your props beside you. And then when you're ready, if both knees are hugged in, take an inhale. And exhale, maybe just hug them in a little tighter. Another big breath in here. Exhale, knees fall over to the right. So either just that left knee or both knees fall to the right. Left arm comes out into a T. Maybe right arm rests on top of that left thigh. Maybe that arm comes out also. You can try looking to the side or kind of rolling your head back and forth until you find that space that feels really sweet for you. And then just breathe here. So notice where we're gripping and where we're holding. Take an inhale. Exhale, just see if you can start to soften. You might put a rolled up blanket or a pillow underneath that left knee or between your knees if both knees are to the side. So giving yourself any and all support that you might need or that you might just want. And coming into the breath, when we allow the breath to be full, when we allow the breath to travel down toward the pelvic floor, we invite ourselves to be here. When the breath just stays up in the chest and the throat space, then we're not really here. We're fluttering around somewhere else. We're not anchored and grounded. The breath is the anchor. The breath, that is the root system that keeps us in the present moment. And then I'd like to invite our mantra for the practice. Our mantra for today, for this evening, is so hum. I am that. Capital T, that. I am all that is. I am the universe. I am love. I am the wonder of the cosmos. I am the laughter of a child. I am the tears of a widow. I am all of this and so much more. So hum. I am that divine presence that dwells within all beings. So hum. I am that divine consciousness that vibrates off of every naturally occurring object. So hum. And we'll just take about 3 or 4 more breaths here, maybe inhaling so, and exhaling hum, or anything else that feels appropriate for you. And then when you're ready, no rush of course, take an inhale. Maybe try a breath of Kali, open the mouth, stick out the tongue. And then inhale, return to center really, really slowly. Maybe hugging both knees in, maybe taking a big stretch. And then just pausing. Sacred pause. Opportunity to just taste the nectar of the practice. Notice any differences between the left and right side. Just breathe into whatever is in this moment. And then when you're ready, either hugging both knees in toward your heart space or just your right knee, take an inhale and pause as you exhale. Just hugging that knee or those knees in. Notice what you're present to on this side. And then moving with your breath, your pace at your own time. When you're ready, you'll come into that twist. Maybe taking an inhale and exhaling the right knee or both knees over to the left side. Any variation that feels appropriate with the arms. This side does not have to look like it did on the other side. We're creating harmony in the body, balance in the body, which means we need to be able to cater to both sides with their individual needs. We're not looking for things to be identical. We just want to create harmony. So once you land in this twist on this side, give yourself permission to take another inhale. And then exhale. Have a seat here. Allow yourself to just come home to this shape. When the mind wanders, just inviting it back to the breath, and this too. All of it is welcome here. Soham, I am that. I am not the chatter that's in my mind, although that is welcome here, because that will help to guide me home. But I am not what's happening in my mind. I am the consciousness that is beyond the mind. And yet the mind is required for us to get there. What beautiful, intricate, divine beings we are. Soham. Just about another minute or so here. And then when you're ready, take that beautiful inhale. Audible exhale, sigh it out. That felt really good. Let's try that again. Big breath in. Exhale, let it go, release. One more time, taking an inhale. Breath of Kali this time, exhale. And then whenever you feel like this side is harmonized with the other side, come back to center, returning to your back. Maybe hugging both knees in, maybe taking that stretch. And then just come to any shape that feels appropriate on your back to just rest and feel the effects of that set of postures. Notice the prana, the breath, and the energy, the blood flow flowing through your body. They said that the Divine Mother herself is the prana, the life force that animates us, that keeps us alive. And then when you're ready, just make your way into an easy seated shape. No rush. Maybe come into fetal position first and then help yourself up. You might sit on a cushion if that feels good for you. We're just going to do some nadi shodhana, some alternate nostril breathing. So let yourself get situated first. This breath technique, this pranayama, is especially soothing for the nervous system because it brings everything into balance. But it's also safe to do during our moon cycles and everything else, where some of the other breathing techniques are not. So we're going to go with this one because we are in that new moon energy still a little bit. So, all right. So we're going to take our right hand or left hand, whichever hand you want, really, and make the hang ten sign. And then we're going to lift the ring finger. We're going to use the ring finger to cover the left nostril when it's appropriate, and then the thumb to cover the right when it's appropriate. Okay? So I'll guide you through it, and you can do this breathing technique as much as feels appropriate for you. Sometimes pranayama can cause us to feel more anxious. If that's the case, one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, and just give yourself permission to breathe normally and just connect to that breath as much as feels safe. Okay, so let's just take an inhale all together and exhale, letting that go. And then we'll block the right nostril Take a deep inhale through the left. Pause and block both, and just hold that breath for a few counts here. And then when you're ready, release the right side and exhale just through the right nostril. Let that breath go completely. Pause with the emptiness, and then inhale on the right side. Pause, covering both nostrils. And then exhale on the left side. Inhaling left. Pause. Exhaling right. Pause. Inhaling right. Pause. Exhaling left. Good. Inhaling left. Pause. Exhaling right. Pause. Inhaling right. Pause. Exhaling left. Two more rounds. Inhaling left. Pause. Exhaling right. Pause. Inhaling right. Pause. Exhaling left. Pause. Last round. Inhaling left. Pause. Exhaling right. Pause. Inhaling right. Pause. Exhaling left. Pause. Releasing your hands into your lap. Take an inhale. And exhale. Just return to normal breathing. And take a few moments to just drink the nectar of the pranayama. And then when you're ready, and again, no rush, bring the soles of our feet together, getting ready for asana. Parvati is one of the great mother goddesses. She is Durga or Kali in her most benign, domesticated, two-armed form. Parvati means daughter of the mountain. She embodies great strength. So we come into asana to reconnect with Mother Earth, to reconnect with the divine feminine within ourselves, and also that amazing strength that is ours, that is us, so hum. So soles of the feet are together if this feels comfortable and appropriate. Otherwise, you can sit with your legs crossed or legs out in front of you. Hands maybe take the ankles or the feet. Take an inhale, lifting up through the heart space. Leading with the heart, exhale, fold forward. See if you can keep your heart lifted and your back straight for this first part. And just feel that. Notice how when we start to feel the contraction in the, or the constriction in the hips, we may be feeling that in our shoulders as well. So just pause Feel the discomfort and notice and celebrate the connection, the interconnectedness in our bodies. And then once you feel ready, take an inhale. And exhale, let yourself surrender, release into this posture. You might take a blanket or a couple of blocks to rest your forehead on. You might put a blanket or blocks under your knees if you would like to enjoy some additional support for this practice. So many variations. Please give yourself permission to do whatever feels appropriate for you. And definitely keep breathing. So as soon as we start to get into the hips and also the shoulders, we might notice that our jaws clench up. We might make fists. So noticing that without judgment, giving ourselves permission to just be as we are, and also soften into this space. Come back to the breath, back to breathing down into the pelvic floor. Trusting all that is. Trusting that same divine intelligence that we are and that governs this universe, these multiverses. So hum. I am that. The Tantrikas, the Tantric teachings of yoga, share that the human form is thus the abode of the truth, of which the universe is the manifestation in infinite space and eternal time. Realize the truth hidden in this body with the clear conviction that the truth that is realized within is the same truth that pervades and controls the whole universe. So hum. I am that. Take about 3 more deep, rooting, nurturing breaths here. When you are ready, very slowly with the inhale, begin to just rise back up. Take a moment to just pause, maybe one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Breathing into the beauty, the bliss that you are, Satchitananda. The truth. If we could just begin to even grasp the truth of who we are. I think we're getting there though. We're getting somewhere. So hum. And then we're going to make our way into Go Mukht Asana, cow face pose. Since we are honoring Mother, we must honor Mother Cow. So we're going to begin. I'll show you Ardha Go Mukht first, and then I'll show you the full variation, and you can decide what you want to do or do something else altogether. So begin by just extending your right leg forward, and the left knee is going to cross and come right on top of the right knee, just like this. This might be exactly what our bodies want right now, and we get to honor that because we are our own guru. So if that's the case, stay right here. If you want to explore, you can always come back to this. This right foot tucks back by that left hip. The knees need to be on top of each other though, and if you have a big gap, that just means that your hips are tight, maybe your knees too. So that's when these blankets or cushions can be really handy. We want to just fill in those gaps. So we want to make sure that our knees are always supported. And it's kind of helpful sometimes to sort of come forward, pull the flesh out from under the sits bones, and then sit back down. The closer your heels are to your hips, the less intense the pose will be. If you want to explore a little bit more, those feet will just walk away from the hips a bit. So this is almost like a pigeon variation, and you'll rest here. Okay, so once you've gotten settled into your leg variation with Go Mukht, you can stay right here and just breathe. The hips are intense, and we're talking about mama, so there are a lot of mama stories that we store here in the hips, honoring whatever comes up. It's okay. And if the emotions become a little more intense than we want to work with this evening, that's okay. Pull out of the pose. So you might stay here. You might take an inhale, and of course, leading with the heart. Exhale, just begin to fold forward. You might also have your blocks handy so that you can fold forward and place your hands on your blocks, so it's a little less intense. Then you have a choice to either stay here or come forward even more. Keep pulling your heart forward though with this one, so we're not totally collapsing. We want to keep inviting the heart space forward. Shoulders are back and down. And to take any pressure off of the neck, we can just sort of look slightly down. And then remember to breathe into that pelvic floor. Breathe into the heart space. And into the hip space. See, it's so often the stories that we have stored in the hips that keep us from living from our hearts. It's interesting how when we live from the stories that are in the hips, we live from the head, because the head just keeps replaying what the body has stored. And then when we come into these postures and we create space and the muscles begin to get length, that cellular memory begins to seep up, pop up, so that we can see it, so that we can hold it, so that we can give voice to it, to our wounded inner children, to our wounded mother, internal mother, to whatever parts of us need to be held and heard. And then all of the vritta and the chitta that's happening, all the stuff that's happening in the mind starts to calm down. We get to start to live from the heart space. And then we get a lot more clarity here in the third eye and in the mind. We get to retune into our intuition, that sacred feminine that's within all of us. About 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Breath of Kali, exhale. And then your choice. You can slowly peel yourself out of this one and just stretch your legs forward or come back to Parvati Asana and just kind of rest and recalibrate. Or if you want to have a little bit of fun, see if I can remember how to do this. You'll walk your hands over to clockwise, so over to the right. Wrap yourself all the way around, and then you're back in the pose with the right leg on top this time. So you can have fun with it, or you can just be present with it, whatever you need. When you're ready, we'll meet in this asana with the right leg on top. So either the left leg is just stretched straight out, or we're in for Ardha Gomukhasan, or we are in Gomukhasan in the full expression. Getting situated and returning to stillness. See, that's the thing about our practice on and off the mat. We can have fun with it. We can be very somber with it. We get to pause. We get to dance with it. It's our practice. And we get to let it be ours, on and off the mat. So maybe we stay here. Maybe the feet are a little closer in this time or a little further out this time, depending on what this side needs. And if and when you're ready, we'll take an inhale. Leading with the heart. Exhale, begin to fold forward. Maybe staying here, maybe coming forward a little bit more. Depending on what it is that you need in not only your body, but also your heart and your mind. And we'll just breathe. So I am that. The Devi Mahatmya says, unto her the power who is consciousness in all beings. Reverence to her, reverence to her, reverence to her. Unto the force who exists as Shakti in all beings. Reverence to her, reverence to her, reverence to her. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu, Namastasye, Namastasye, Namastasye. And then we come back to Soham. To the power who is consciousness in all beings. To the power who is consciousness in and as me. Reverence to her. Soham. Reverence to her. To the force who exists as Shakti in all beings. To the force who exists as Shakti in and as me. Reverence to her. Reverence to her. Reverence to her. 2 more breaths. Take an inhale. Let's try that breath of Kali. Exhale. And when you're ready, inhale to slowly come back out of the pose. This time, let's stretch our legs out in front of us. Maybe just sort of shake them out a little bit. Again, you might put a blanket underneath your sits bones here. Let's just take an inhale. Exhale, walk those hands forward. Just allowing our hamstrings to stretch a little bit. Maybe releasing the neck here. And as we're in this shape where we're bowing forward, we're bowing to our own feet, to our own legs, to our own Muladhara chakra, bowing to our own ancestry, bowing to the ancestry of this practice, bowing to our own sacred feminine that is available to all genders, that is part of the essence of all genders. Just notice that. Bowing to your own divinity as a human and as pure divine consciousness in this beautiful vessel of clay. How very precious we are. And then when you're ready, we're going to make our way into a restorative version of Matsyasana, a fish pose, or of our reclined Parvatyasana. So either the soles of your feet will come together, or you'll stretch your legs straight out. But first, let's set up our props. No rush though as you come up from that forward fold. Please take your time. Just letting you know where you might go next. So if you have your blankets, get your blankets set up to support the length of your spine, or any pillows or anything else that you have. But this time we want to get it set up so that if it's possible, our heads can kind of, only if it's comfortable for our necks, that our heads can kind of hang off so that we get to open up the throat too. So for that, you might need to use a shorter side of your blanket. So we normally have them going the long way. We might try taking them this way instead. You might use blocks. So I'm not there to see what each one of you has to work with, but I'll show you what I'm talking about with the pose, and then you get to improvise. So you still want to bring the blankets to the small of your back, and then you'll just lay down over them so that your shoulders are supported, but your head kind of rests back on the ground so that you can open up the throat a little bit more. Ideally, with the full expression, the non-restorative version of this pose, we have our hands under our hips and we use our elbows to prop us up, and we're back like this, right? So it's really opening the heart and the throat chakra. So we want as close as we can get to this, but restorative and with whatever props you may have. So you might use blocks in addition to the blankets to give yourself a little more height. However, if you have a sensitive neck, either omit the neck part altogether and support your head, or just barely lift the neck part up. Okay? Now that I've thoroughly confused you, when you're ready, Nice deep breath. And exhale, just let yourself rest back. And breathe. If this becomes too much for you at any point, your body does not like this pose, please come out of it and take a different variation. So Shrimatsya, that was an incarnation of Vishnu. But since we're working with mother energy today, this is fish pose. And when we started out in our mama's wombs, we were very much like little fish, right? We follow the trek of evolution. In embryo even. So taking a moment to curl back up in the cosmic womb of the mother. And allowing ourselves to feel how safe it is to have this wide open heart here. Fully surrounded, protected, nurtured by, fed by, held by the Divine Mother. So we have these wide open hearts. What might bloom here in this sacred, safe space of open-heartedness? And then take that even a little further to realize that we, in all of creation, are indeed in the cosmic womb of the mother. And so we are that cosmic womb. So what would it look like if we allowed ourselves to connect into that, to be rooted into that, to like have that umbilical cord, that connection to the mother, to self, to source, that is so intimate that we can feel her surrounding us. That we realize that every breath we take is her oxygen breathing into our lungs. Every morsel of food that we ingest is her nourishing us. And then we can have these wide open hearts because so when a baby is in utero, she is not separate from her mother. They are one entity. So what would it be to live from that place of sacredness, of being one with ourself, or with capital S self, or the universe, or Divine Mother Kali? Not getting lost in stories or can'ts, but just imagining the possibility of what would it look like to live from this trusting space with a wide open heart. Take about 3 more breaths, beloveds. And take an inhale. Breath of Kali, exhale. And then very slowly roll into fetal position, very gently coming off of your props, just resting in fetal for a moment. As the baby grows, they take more and more of that shape, right? Fetal position. They're so surrounded by the mother, they have to get really compact. And then we're going to make our way into our final resting pose of choice. So you might stay here in fetal. You might take any variation of Shavasana. You might take your legs up the wall. Whatever it is that feels most appropriate for you. You're muted, so if you have a song you'd like to put on, you're welcome to do that too. Just make sure you can hear when I call you out of this. You know that if we were in the same room right now, I would be playing Shri Agala Stotram. Or you might just rest in stillness and silence. So when you get into that shape, the pose of Shiva, corpse pose, the pose of endings. In order for us to take our next birth, our rebirth, first there has to be a death, an ending. In life, before we can move to that next phase and embrace something new, there has to be the ending of the things that are no longer serving us. We have to make space. So we come to rest in Shavasana so that we can just let the practice marinate. We can let go of our intentions, of our attentions. Take an inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. Let your toes be soft. The arch of your foot, just let go. Heels, ankles and calves, shins and knees, thighs and hips. Take an inhale right into that womb space. Exhale, offer that womb to Mama Earth by just letting her hold us. Softening the spine, the liver and kidneys, the lungs and shoulders, the heart space, hands, fingers, thumbs, palm of your hand, your wrists. Softening your throat and your neck, jaws, chins, and your cheeks, temples and tongue and teeth, forehead, crown of the head, just to be held by Mother. course, you're welcome to stay in Shavasana as long as you'd like. You can even fall asleep tonight because you're at home. Whenever you're ready, start to come back into this present moment, this present reality, which is still so hum. Taking any micro movements that feel good for you. Maybe wiggling fingers and toes or rolling out wrists and ankles. Perhaps offering yourself a big stretch and then rolling into fetal position on whichever side feels the most natural for you. Pausing in fetal position to once again honor the lineage of our families, of this land, of this practice. Yourself. And then when and if you're ready, help yourself up into a seat. Coming into a meditation pose. So getting comfortable. I'm just going to guide you through a meditation visualizing the form of the cosmic mother. Not the formlessness of her, but the form. So let your imagination run wild with the imagery. And allow the mantra of So Hum to just gently echo in the background. Kali embodies all the energy of the universe. She is Shakti personified. Hers is the power to create, sustain, and destroy. She is the mother. You must go beyond your fear and come to her in love, because what you love you cannot fear, and Kali takes us beyond all fear. Behind every detail of her appearance lies a sublime truth. Her untamed hair hints at unrestrained power and boundless freedom. Some say it represents the veil of illusion, woven from the strands of space and time. Her three eyes represent omniscience, for she sees past, present, and future. Nothing is unknown to the all-knowing mother. So Hum. The garland of skulls around her neck is not a symbol of death, as you might think, but of creative power. How can that be? Each of the 50 skulls stands for a sound of the alphabet, and from these sounds, these vibrating energies, the mother brings forth the entire universe. So Hum. So this garland of skulls is, in fact, the alphabet of creation. Kali's full breasts show how she nurtures us. The girdle of severed arms around her waist betokens her power to sever the bonds of karma, to free us from the accumulated deeds that keep us in bondage. Her nakedness represents freedom from illusion, and her blacker than black skin, like the endless blackness of the night sky, tells us that she is infinite. So Hum. Her lower right hand extends itself in the offering of a boon, as if to say, ask of me what you will. One of Kali's greatest boons is fearlessness, which she signals with her upper right hand, the palm outward. Be not afraid, this gesture proclaims. Now, how to dispel fear? Consider the mother's upper left hand, which wields the bloodied sword of knowledge. It represents the power of discernment, the ability to separate what is transitory and fleeting from what is real and abiding. This power cuts through appearances and reveals things as they really are. Use this sword to cut away the mental clutter. Focus your attention solely on that which leads toward the liberating knowledge of the unpervading oneness. So hum. In her lower left hand, the mother dangles the freshly severed head of a demon. This represents the limiting sense of ignorance that she slays. Taken together, Kali's four hands say, "Take refuge in me. Let go of your fear. Let me slay your illusion of smallness and separation, and you will merge into my infinite bliss." How beautiful the mother is. I try to tell you, but I fall tongue-tied mute as words melt into amazement. So hum. I invite you to just bring your hands to Anjali Mudra at your heart, with all of your fingers touching, and then let the middle three pull away from each other so that we're in Padma Mudra, Lotus Mudra. And bring that lotus right to your heart as an offering to the mother. The Mahatmya says, know that you always carry the mother enshrined in your own heart. Know that you always carry this universal divinity, your own divinity, enshrined in your own heart. And so we bring these offerings of the lotus to the divinity that we are, to the mother within us. And we ask that she would help us to live our practice off the mat and on, to live with wisdom and courage, compassion and grace, to be blessed with the boons of abundance, of spiritual wealth and discernment, and that our needs and the needs of everyone else will be met. We ask that she would guide us to show us our role in ending the suffering of ourselves and all beings. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. You're welcome to hold that mudra if you'd like, or you're welcome to rest your hands in your lap. We're just going to very, very softly sing just a few rounds of gratitude to the mother. Ame Ma Durga Ma Jaya Jai Kali Ma Ame Ma Durga Ma Jaya Jai Kali Ma Om Ma Durga last round. Durga Ma Jai Kali Ma Rupam Nehi Jayam Nehi Yasham Nehi Duisham Nehi Rupam Nehi Jayam Nehi Yasham Nehi Duisham Nehi Rupam Nehi Jayam Nehi Yasham Nehi Duisham Nehi. May we remember the love that we are. May we take our practice off the mats and live it every moment of every day out in the world, allowing the practice to wrap around us like a blanket in all of our joy and all of our sorrow and all of our fear and our anger and our gratitude, all of our pieces. May all of our pieces reflect back to us our innate wholeness. And may we welcome all of these pieces into every aspect of our practice, deeming no part of ourselves unworthy. So hum. Hari Om Tat Sat. Jaya Jagadambe Mata Ki. Jai Gurudev.